Villainous by its_Kingston on AO3. Episode 18, Chapter 12, Return. So, what do you think about Negate? Shigaraki asked from his bar stool. He sat beside Kirigiri, who poured another drink at his boss's request. I think that while a hero turned villain can be quite suspicious, she has useful information. Though the issue remains at whether or not we can find where the truth ends and the lies begin, the Mistman said. He took a sip from his glass, although most were unsure if he actually needed the substance. The League knew that Kirigiri had a knack for judging character. If he made an opinion on someone, or something, it was usually correct. Just what I thought too. Shigaraki agreed. The window slipped open, and Toga climbed through. Did it go well? He asked the blonde, as she shut the window behind her. Nope, Hero's got company. I gotta go back later and tell her. Toga groaned, plopping onto the couch. That's unfortunate, Kirigiri said, offering Toga a shot glass. Nah, you know I don't like getting drunk. That stuff tastes disgusting, Toga declined. She flicked the TV on and silently watched the news. Hey, Toga, what do you think of Negate? You seem fond of her. Shigaraki asked, his gaze settling on the TV. I like her. She's nice and funny and cute. Toga shrugged. But she's definitely not one of us. She's too soft. Not to mention the fact that she works for UA, not us. There's no way she's betraying them for us. She's got a life there. The blonde huffed a sigh and leaned back onto the couch. But I really wish she would. Dobby already said not to trust her. Where's Twice? I want his opinion too. Shigaraki asked, no one in particular. I believe he's in his room working on the hero suit, Kirigiri said. Already? Shigaraki tipped back the shot glass before placing it upside down on the table. He's dedicated to his craft, I'll give him that. The pale man chuckled as he got up, probably heading towards Twice's room. Oh, that's sad, Sue murmured after picking up her phone. It had let out Akiro moments ago, the noise being the frog girl's chosen notification tone. What? Ochako asked, furrowing her brow. Sue flipped the phone towards the Gravity Hero, who silently took in the sight. It was the app Deku had made for the school, which he called the Hero Helping App, though everyone called it HHA, or HA, and notified anyone who installed it when a news event occurring, heroes or villains, happened. He even coded it to follow different reports, so if you only wanted news on UA, that's all you got. It was a majorly popular app, even getting compliments by Principal Nezu and UA teachers. The red border gave way to a white text, black font. A picture was framed in a box towards the top of the screen, hovering over the headline. Innocent woman found dead. League of Villains suspected. Ochako tried not to show it on her face, though inside she was freaking out. She reasoned that the League killed plenty, and they had no reason to suspect them to begin with. Really? That's low. Ochako sighed. Could I read the article real quick? She asked Sue. Sure. The green-haired girl nodded, passing the phone to her friend. Sure enough, the picture matched that of the woman Ochako had killed. This wasn't good. Her eyes skimmed through the paragraphs, picking out important details. Woman killed by a slit throat. Police suspect LOV. The knife found at the crime scene matches the ones that the League of Villains member Himiko Toga uses. Blood on the knife matches the innocent woman. Police aren't sure why the LOV needed to kill an innocent woman with a family, as she isn't involved in crime, but they say they'll find out. One pair of footprints found on the knife, matching of those with Himiko Toga. Could the League have a new accomplice, or reason to kill? Ochako grimaced. Luckily, due to the pads on her fingers, that allowed her to use her quirk. She didn't actually have fingerprints. It was a smooth surface, and thus it couldn't be traced. why did they still jump to the conclusion of a new member? As clickbait? For views? Or did they have actual evidence? That's disappointing. I feel really sorry for that woman. Ochako trailed off, handing the phone back to Sue. In truth, Ochako hadn't thought about that woman since the nightmares. They stayed for a few nights, but faded after she moved on, like Toga suggested. Strangely, the strategy of forget and move on worked wonders for the hero's mental health. That, and coming to terms with the fact that she did that she killed someone. I know. I should go show the others. They probably want to know, and maybe we could figure out why they did that. Sue said, trying to see the bright side of the solution. That could give us a head start, and we could figure out when they'll strike next. That sounds like a good idea. I'll join you, but for now, I'm gonna take a walk on campus and clear my head. Ochako got up from her bed and slid her phone into her pocket. Okay. Sue nodded and got up before putting a hand on her friend's shoulder. Hey, you can talk to me, Mina and Deku, along with anyone else if something is troubling you. She added in a soft voice. Thanks, Sue. Ochako hugged the frog-like girl. Sue closed the door behind her, stepping into the hallway. That was weird. The entire interaction she just had with Ochako was off-putting, in the smallest of ways. Firstly, when did she get a new phone? Maybe her old one broke over the field trip, Sue reasoned. But wouldn't she tell her friend that? Second, the sketchy looks and strange phone calls weren't helping the situation. Was her friend involved in something not so good? Ochako was the type to help out anyone whenever she could. Did she accidentally get herself into something trying to help out her old friend? And the way she looked towards the image of that poor woman, she would have thought she killed her herself. Sue wondered if thoughts of the League were bothering Ochako, plaguing her. They've been covering some of the League's crimes in class, hence the field trip as the rest of the sorts. Ochako was just acting a little too strange. Huh, this place is already open. Ochako stood in the front of UA's newly opened museum. She had found it while following the freshly paved sidewalk she saw around campus. Apparently, the trip to the other museum caused UA's teachers and students to suggest having their very own historical preservation site. Plus, they already had an empty building, so why not move some of their storage items there? They made their point that having a collection of their milestones and achievements could boost the students' morale and confidence, along with making the school less formal feeling, less classes and homework, more enjoyable learning in the form of a museum history, Principal Nezu had said. Ochako walked inside, noting the dark red carpet and wood interior. Each artifact sat on a detailed dark oak pedestal underneath a beam of light. Thick red ropes stood out against the orange walls, and kept students and visitors alike from wandering too close to the display. There wasn't glass surrounding any of the items, unless it was deemed dangerous. An unexploded grenade that still had the pin, for example. Though Ochako was curious why the heroes had placed a grenade in a glass case near several hundred teenagers, she didn't bother reading the explanatory paragraph. Something else caught her eye on the back wall of the rather small museum. It was a mostly dark blue mask, with large white pointed teeth. Connected were several tubes with syringe needles on the end, designed to drain the blood of anyone who was unfortunate enough to be on the wrong end. Small vials were on the other side of the tubes that led back to the mask. It seemed like hitting a small button on the side of the mask changed whether the blood connected into small vials or was simply transported to the wearer from long distance. A mask knocked off the League of Villains member Himiko Toga and retrieved by pro hero Wash. The blood-stealing mask was designed and created by the villain, though besides weakening the target, we're unsure what it's used for. In battle, Wash wasn't able to hit it due to the metal coat of the armor they possessed. Luckily, we have the mask in our possession now. Ochako mumbled out loud, reading from the nameplate beneath the stand the mask sat on. Strangely, a needle having blood-stealing villain mask wasn't considered dangerous, and therefore had no glass around it. Of course she'll make something like that. Ochako chuckled. She admired the stitching for a moment, remembering that it was probably twice his handiwork. It wouldn't be very hard to retrieve the mask. Other than the cameras and security guards, nothing stopped Toga from getting it. Maybe Ochako would tell the blonde about her quirk-enhancing mask being on display in the Hero Museum. Or maybe she could get it back for Toga. Prove herself to the League? You can already see how Ochako is bending her morality. I mean, the reaction to that woman being dead, it wasn't, oh god, I killed a woman, right? It wasn't, I feel so horrible for killing that woman, or anything like that. It was simply, I hope I don't get caught. Or something similar along the lines. I mean, it wasn't necessarily, I hope I don't get caught, but let's be honest. The way that she was thinking that, oh, I'm glad that, I don't have fingerprints. I'm glad that, oh, do they actually suspect that there's a new member? I'm sorry, girlie. You are more worried about getting caught than you are in the fact that you killed a life. Your morality is slipping. Not to mention that ending scene. That, oh, should I steal this for Toga or should I just tell her? No, at first she thought oh, let me tell her and then let me steal it for her. Girly pop. My girly pop, I wish you could see me because I'm sipping a cup that has the design of a black cat holding a knife. This is I feel like Toga would own something like this. Cat holding a knife. She would definitely own that. Or the goose holding a knife. No? I don't know. I'll show you guys next time I go live. But just holding this. Whatever. Point taken is, Ochako, your morality is starting to rip. And I'm here for it. I'm always here for a good Ochako villain arc, alright? Sometimes we just need a little villain arc, right? I love Villain Deku. Don't get me wrong. I love Villain Bakugo. Do not get me wrong. Villain Todoroki. He deserves that. Villain Ochako, now that is something you don't see often, and I like it. Are we gonna get it here? Maybe, maybe not, who knows, but we're seeing glimpses, and I'm eating up the crumbs like it's no tomorrow. Anyways, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.